Hey loves, it's Britt, and in this video I'm going to talk about the quincunx or inconjunct aspect of the Sun and Uranus in Synastry. So this one is kind of funny. Um, both people in this relationship can look at the other like they are some weird, interesting freak of nature. Um, but at the same time be very fascinated by the person. Um, I find that inconjuncts or quincunxes to Uranus in Synastry work out better than some of the other planets. And this is just a weird personal astrologer intuition. This isn't something I've read in any books or anything, but it does seem to me that the inconjuncts of Uranus or containing Uranus and Synastry do better than the squares to Uranus or inconjuncts to other planets. Because the inconjunct is such a weird, awkward, alien aspect. And Uranus is already kind of a eccentric energy that's, maybe more comfortable with the kind of uh, push pull, like weird vibes of the inconjunct aspect. So at least that's how I've experienced it and what I've felt about it. So this aspect to me is more minor. Um, there are at times probably going to be disagreements about how each of you lives your life. There can be judgments, but because it's an inconjunct aspect, which it's not so overt as the square, it's not like the square where we're just fighting all the time and thinking, you're crazy, no, you're crazy. It's more of an underlying tension under the surface where deep down, the Sun person feels like the Uranus person maybe lives their life in a way that's kind of jarring for them or just not right. Like they can really feel like the Uranus person is just kind of like this wild thing. And depending on like the upbringing of the Sun person or like the level of judgment, like is this a super judgy sign, are they a Capricorn or a Virgo or no, sorry, Capricorns and Virgos, you're not all judging, but like what kind of person is the Sun person, and that is going to determine a lot of like how judgy they're going to be towards the Uranus person and the Uranus person's way of life, which is going to be alien to them. Now the Uranus person can feel like there's this subtle undercurrent of like the Sun person may be going to cramp their style or inhibit them in some way, inhibit their freedom of expression or flow in some way. And like whether or not the Sun overtly does this, the Uranus person can be the one to feel like, oh, this person is too different from me, or their way of life is too, you know, uh, different from mine, that maybe there's no point to this. So I feel like it's the Uranus person more that doesn't really want anything to do with the Sun person. If that's the case, if like they get those weird vibes, it's more going to be the Uranus person that's going to say, no, that's not really in line with my way of life. Where the Sun person will be more attached and more kind of fascinated by the Uranus person, because on a deep level or on some level, they can feel like the Uranus person in a weird way might help to set them free from something. Uranus aspects in synastry can be very exhilarating, very freeing, because we're interacting with people from a different background or a different way of life, or there's something up in the air, there's something exciting about it, which can be with the hard aspects just more difficult and hard to get along because we are too different, and it is this weird relationship, or there's something about it that's eccentric or unusual. Now with this aspect, it's different. This is more going on internally, that we sense, okay, yeah, maybe this person is kind of a weird freak, but if we have other synastry that's good and we're a more open-minded person who likes this kind of thing, we can still be drawn in and we can still benefit from this. The only thing is, you have to be tolerant of each other and give each other a lot of freedom to be who you really are. So, if you're the kind of person that lets someone be themselves without judgment, this will work fine. But if you're the kind of person that needs everybody to think a certain way or be a certain way, that Uranus person, that's not going to fly with them. They are going to be out. And that's kind of the nature of this aspect. It can still be very exciting. It's a little bit more nerve wracking potentially for both people, because the inconjunct in itself is kind of an aspect of more internal, like you think about it more. It makes you think more. It doesn't make you attack each other as much. It puts you in your own head more, and it kind of trips you out, and you're thinking, okay, what's the deal with this person? Like, so this aspect is less exciting and a little bit more potentially um, scary for both people, more probably more the sun, but if there's other really good things going on, this can just be a minor feeling of dealing with someone weird here that I just can't put my finger on, and maybe it's going to be really fun, or maybe it's going to be really not. But there is, yeah, this kind of back and forth of, if you do get together and this exists in a long-term relationship, there can be arguments about the way that you live your life. And so there just has to be tolerance and understanding. And for certain people, this could work, and it's just a slightly awkward thing in your synastry that maybe you need that. Maybe you need to have that feeling of being with someone different than you to keep it exciting or keep it fun. But yeah, so it's it's a really interesting aspect. All inconjuncts or quincunxes in synastry are very fascinating. Um, yeah, I would love to know your experience of this one. Was it like this? Was it not like this? Let me know in the comments, and thanks for watching, you guys. Bye.